Hello, kind sir.
Hello, sir.
So what are you doing today?
I thought you might ask me that.
How'd you know?
Just a guess. Today we're putting a rotted and ported intake from GPI on Williams' car. This is a red hot car that made 451 with solos. Yep. We did a baseline. He put MagnaFlow mufflers on it, and granted he drove it here from South Carolina. We cooled it off some. We made 444. Okay. Through the mufflers. It wasn't probably as cool as we had it when we made 451, but either way, I think 8 horsepower is reasonable. Good mufflers.
Yeah, I think losing. It's all right. Losing 7 or 8 through some mufflers is well worth it because the car sounds much quieter now. It's kind of raspy and loud. It's got a very good tone to it now.
So we're gonna put the intake on, and we're gonna do E85.
So we're gonna go from 444, I think is what it is. We'll show you the graphs, of course, like we always do. And then we will add just the ported intake on 93. We will have larger injectors in there, but that won't make any difference in horsepower, contrary to what some people think. And then we will put in E85, see if we can get a little more power out of it. So you'll have 3 numbers: the baseline today, the ported and rotted intake, and then E85. So this will be a very good difference on what a ported intake and E85 does on an all-motor build.
Yeah, hopefully we see some better number. I mean, I think, maybe 460.
460 would be a very good number through the mufflers for sure.
This also has a solar performance, SOLER, ported throttle body.
And I like it. It tuned just like a stock one, and it is very ground out, very nice, yeah. And the port work looks good.
The throttle shaft has been eliminated on the front side right here, and so it's, I don't know, you can tell there's been some work done to it. Some ported throttle bodies look kind of just roughed up with sand and roll. You can't really tell that.
So yeah, I agree. This is a good throttle body. If you want something that's stock but ported, this seems to be a good one to do. So once we get closer and get everything tidied back up, the new intake and injectors and all on, we'll fire it back up and bring it back over to the dyno room, aka we need a name for it, the power lab.
Hey.
Hey, Dusty.
Hey. So here's the ported intake from GPI. As you can see, they do a really good job of removing.
Pretty clean in there too. Look at that.
Removing all the material and the stanchions in there, as well as the PCV port that sticks
good.
out.
That's some good footage.
And then they do a little bit in here too.
Yep. Smooth out every port.
Looks good.
Yep. And he added the heat shield on the bottom, which should keep a little heat out of the intake air going into the cylinders.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Already got the old one off?
Yeah,
going back together. We had a day today, didn't we?
Today was a day.
It was a day. Yeah. But our good friend and customer, Will's car came out good. This is, I know we were talking earlier about the number. It was actually 442, 410. And that is how it came in. Yes, it's slightly less than it was when we finished it a few months ago, but he put 2 mufflers on here.
Got MagnaFlows on it now instead of Solo J, so a little bit more restriction, and it does have the Solo Mach, so there's a mid muffler and 2 mufflers in the rear now.
It sounds really good though.
Horsepower is not a lot to give up to not.
Me personally, I'd rather have it sound like this and lose 8 horsepower than make that, because it sounds really good. The MagnaFlows have a real deep sound. But anyways, So,
Yes.
yeah,
In the
there he is.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
In the neighborhood.
and his neighborhood.
I'm happy. My elderly neighbor would be real happy about that.
Awesome.
Sure.
But yeah, we picked up ported rotted intake on 93. We picked up about 8 here. So 450 is that number. And we usually see 8 to 10. I mean, it varies.
We picked up 10 foot-pounds.
And then the E85, which we could only get what?
Man, it's only showing 46% ethanol.
Yeah,
wintertime, and there's no reason for us to put C in here. We probably could have put C85 and got this number from 455 to 460, 462, and that'd be our about 2%, 2 to 3%. We always tell people it's not a huge horsepower thing, but the graph increased everywhere.
It always helps the torque. It seems like it always gives
It
a
does.
good torque bump everywhere, and I think maybe that's because of strictly the volume of fuel that you're putting in the chamber.
Bigger explosion, yeah.
Yeah, you're taking up space. You're making more compression down low because you're taking up space with gas. Not quite as much as we had earlier. We had an injector, a bad injector out of the box, and that threw us a little curve.
Luckily we were able to get everything done. Yeah, that was a lot of compression.
It's too much compression.
So some ethanol picked us up another 5 horsepower and 5 foot-pounds. Something to note, you don't always just need to jack up the timing. I think I was telling you about it over at the shop.
That's my method. If I was tuning, I'd just keep hitting up.
So what we found out is this one is, after we dialed in the fuel, I said, well, let's take out a little bit of timing and see what happens. And it actually picked up power until I got about 2 degrees out of where it was, and it's happier. You know, you're not stressing the motor as much with all the timing it doesn't necessarily need, and it was made more power, which, you know, contrary to some people's beliefs, you don't have to have a lot of timing in the E85 to make the power. I think a lot of it's just like you said, from a bigger combustion.
And now, if he gets, because in the wintertime, the ethanol concentration isn't as high because it's hard to ignite. So in the summertime, you'll get more concentration.
The E85 cold start video trends.
Right. So now you've got it set up though. So in the summertime, if he gets 70%,
Yep.
it's going to add a little more time, and it might like it a little better than it did.
For sure.
40-50%.
Yeah, if we could get, during the summer, he's thinking about his next modification. He still has the smaller Doug Thorley headers, I think, on here. We're thinking about putting some bigger headers on here and come back during the summer. And I'm sure that this 455 would increase, you know, another 5 or so with a summer blend. But it's an all-motor car. He doesn't beat on it or race on it a lot. He just wanted to be that E85 flexibility and get all the horsepower he can because he picked up another 5 and 5 foot-pounds for just some injectors and a sensor.
And we'll give you a standard graph because we always do that, just so.
And
you know, some people do.
Yep.
Give standard sheets. So for comparison,
455, 462, 468. And there you can see the same torque jump, about 15 foot-pounds from where he came in. One thing we're thinking is that the ported intake or rotted intake would have picked up more up top, but it actually picks up a lot of torque up to, if you look at that, Dusty, it actually closes in towards the top. This is a big spot, about 5,500. That's a big gain.
yeah, let me get back to SE.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And one thing we're discussing is the tri-Y, 1 3/4 tri-Y headers a restriction in the exhaust side that's not letting us take full advantage of opening up the intake side?
We don't know.
So that might be something he wants to try, and then maybe a power adder down the road he talked about. So we'll see if we can talk him into that.
Yep, so, you know, this is a good gains. Like I said, I always love seeing someone come in, do some little stuff to it and pick up. And that's why we put it on the dyno, because here's the thing, it made 450 or 451 last time with the mufflers, with no mufflers.
That's right.
So if we would have just slapped it on here, we're like, hey, where's that 450 number, you know? Yeah. So you always have to baseline if anything changes, because it's very easy to change your horsepower by wheels. I mean, it's a lot of things. Wheels, you know, low pressure in your tires,
We've done
mufflers.
that in the past. We put different wheels on, like drag, you know, had our drag set up.
I thought that would make more difference, honestly.
I know. We had different wheels, and it made, you know, quite a big difference.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. So it just depends. You can really manipulate these numbers. We try to be as fair and honest and transparent as possible. You know, Dusty, that's what people say we're known for now.
Transparency.
Being relatable.
Oh.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound.
Everybody's a loser.
Yeah, right. That's what I've had so many people say. They're like, we're just down to earth, but I think everybody's on earth
This is
though.
the second time Will's been here, and he.
Yeah.
How long?
I think so.
How far of a drive?
I think so.
Yeah,
How far of a drive
Well,
is it?
relatable.
relatable. There it is. Relatable.
How far do you drive to get? How long does it take you to get here?
About 4 hours, 15 minutes, something like
So
that.
he's
Oh,
from
wow,
down
we're-
around close to Charleston.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we had another car in here, so he's been here all day. But we're
Yeah.
gonna get him out of here soon.
Good.
We appreciate him.
Yeah, we appreciate him a lot. He's a good customer, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated on this one. If we do anything else to it, we'll keep you guys updated. I need to start 2 YouTube channels, not channels, but playlists. Dusty, I'm gonna do his playlist for the gray car, for the silver car,
Oh yeah.
the BHP shop car. That'll be one playlist, and shoot, he comes the third time, we'll have to do a playlist for him too, because that way people can see these cars evolve through the years.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But
Hopefully they
anyways.
keep getting better.
Yeah, yeah. So far, so good. We're picking up every time. So yeah, anyways, until next time, thanks again.